Welcome to Movie Town. According to the introductory paragraph, 35,000 slaves in rebellious states awaited the Union troops to liberate them immediately after Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation and made slaves free. They had the option of waiting for them or fleeing to freedom. 1863, Peter is a slave who is spending his dying moment with his family, wife, Deodane, and children Betsy, Sapion, and Laurette before being sent to a new plantation in Clinton. Peter is taken from his house by force, but he fights the handlers so that he can return to his family. When one of the guys pointed a pistol at Deodane, Peter gives in and is taken with the slaves.
Get back here! I will come back to you!
Peter and other slaves arrive in Clinton, where they are forced to labor and are subjected to constant torture and prejudice. John, a former slave who attempted to flee, has his cheek branded. At night, Peter expresses his confidence in God, but John rejects him, claiming that there must be no God for them to be in their current circumstances. Peter learns that Lincoln's army is at Baton Rouge and that many slaves are fleeing for freedom. He devises a scheme to escape by crossing the wetland. When ordered to bury deceased slaves in a ditch, Peter waits for explosives to go off before attacking and killing the handlers. He and a group of slaves flee into the marsh, pursued by a party commanded by Fassel. Thomas, one of the slaves, gets mauled by the handler's hound. Fassel informs Thomas that if he tells the man where the other slaves are going, he will be set free. Fassel lets Thomas stray far enough into the swamp after he shouts Baton Rouge before shooting him and letting the gators devour what's left of him. While Fassel and the soldiers continue their pursuit,
We must go our own way. Harder to track.
Peter parts off with the other slaves and begins his own journey to escape. Peter is noticed by a slave owner's toddler's daughter and pursued by men before fleeing to the swamp. He battles a gator and hides in a tree while tending to his injuries. Fassel and his men halt for the night and prepare a gator attended by house slave Noels. Fassel tells a story from his boyhood about a female slave who looked after him and was kind to him. When Fassel begged his father to invite her to supper, he was told that giving slaves anything would result in their taking what the men thought they were entitled to. After Fassel informed his father that he had been sneaking food to the woman, he stabbed her and left her to die in the fields for 3 days. Back on the other plantation, Deodane has informed that the plantation's owner, Captain Lyons, has sold her to another owner, that she will not be able to take her children and that she must marry another man. She is preparing her children for the separation. Deodane inserts her arm into a cutting machine to harm herself and render her unsellable. Peter keeps doing everything he can to leave, hunting for food and water and attempting to remain warm. He also conceals his scent from the slave owner's dog by using onions. He runs into John and offers him onion to disguise his own odor. When Fassel and his men approach, John climbs a tree and Peter flees. When John refuses to provide Peter's location, Fassel shoots and decapitates him. Peter discovers a burned out house where a family has been killed late at night. He comes into a slave girl and attempts to get her to safety, but she is severely hurt and dies after handling him a cross necklace. A slave handler comes and attempts to take Peter in, but he and Noels are both shot. Before murdering him, Peter tells Noels that he is the worst type of person because he supports his abusers. Peter draws closer to Baton Rouge in the morning as he hears the cannon of Lincoln's troops. Fassel, on the other hand, follows him and seeks to arrest him forcibly. When the Union troops come, they shoot Fassel in the neck, killing him. They then bring Peter along. Peter is transported to a camp for medical treatment before being informed he must enroll with the Union to preserve his and his family's release. Peter is then led to a tent where photographers shoot his naked back in order to expose the countless lashing scars on his body, allowing the rest of the world to witness the horrors of slavery. Peter enlists as a soldier and travels to meet with General Dwight with Captain Andrew Calliox. When Dwight challenges Peter's motivations, Peter declares that he will battle those who harmed him. The troops' mission is to infiltrate a Confederate camp and seize their artillery. Many serious casualties occur as the troops surge into battle, including Calliox. Peter leads an assault in which Union forces overrun Confederate soldiers and take over the camp. The native guard marches past Peter's former property, where he sees the execution of Leons. The inhabitants on the plantation rejoice at their newfound freedom. Peter wanders about looking for his family, and after some time, he has an emotionally ecstatic reunion with them. They start praying. According to the final sentence, the image of the guy Peter was based on become a worldwide symbol and a scream against slavery. More than 4 million enslaved African Americans were freed on June 19, 1865. You've made it this far. In appreciation, please like, subscribe, watch other recaps, and share with your loved ones.